Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, George Harris joins us. He's the chairman of Nevadans for Sound Government, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
One night, two incredible bands. Lit. Fuel. Ignited We Stand Tour 2025. Friday, August 22nd, TJ's Corral at the Carson Valley Inn. Get tickets now at carsonvalleyinn.com. Don't miss Lit and Fuel together live.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always delighted to welcome to the program George Harris. He is chairman of Nevadans for Sound Government and one of my best friends. Pleasure to have you back on the program, sir.
Sammy, thanks for having me. Man, I've missed you. I almost missed you permanently, but they couldn't do it, buddy.
Well, let's talk about this because you're looking a lot skinnier than the last time I saw you. And
you've dropped 18 pounds.
You've been through quite a bit. Tell us what happened.
Well, I got back from my distillery in Mexico and went right to work, landed, went to my office, went to work, had a great day. 2 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and my back is killing me. I'm thinking, oh God, I got to get to a chiropractor in the morning. And then I started throwing up bile, which is a yellow, gross thing. And I went in the room and said, hey, Nicole, I think I'm having a heart attack. And she was like a pit boss crew. I turned my head. She was dressed, ready to go, threw me in the front seat of the car like a duffel bag. And the person who never breaks any rules blew through every light all the way to Summerlin Hospital. I go into Summerlin Hospital and I tell the guy, I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. And the doctor looks at me and he says, oh, that's because you are. Oh, great bedside manner there, huh? And then they went up through my wrist right there. They went into my heart, left side of my heart, no blockage, nothing. Everything was fine. Right side of my heart, the artery behind the heart that feeds the lungs was 100% blocked. They drilled it out and put 2 stents in. What's weird is they had just cleared me for a surgery that I was supposed to have on some scar tissue from an injury that happened in the military. And my EKG was fine and my blood pressure was fine. But that's why I want everybody here, if you're 55 or plus, go get checked, go get either the echocardiogram or get into a C scan, because that's the only way they can see a blockage.
Well, I am so glad that you are back to health. You look great, and you've got a permanent heart monitor. And that's your wife, and she's going to be taking care of you forever. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk politics after this timeout.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
It's a good time to eat. It's a good time to play.
It's a good time to win.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with George Harris, chairman of Nevadans for Sound Government. You know, I am getting so tired of hearing both parties talking about losing our democracy and all this nonsense. And it's crazy. People voting, which they are doing in solid numbers, not as great as I would like them to be voting, but solid numbers. And yet both sides and the media keep pushing out that we're losing our democracy or in danger of losing our democracy. What is going on is democracy, is it not?
It is, and we're not losing our democracy. What has happened is there's a split, Sam. There's a split between Democrats and Republicans. In the neighborhoods, Democrats are all good people, Republicans are all good people, nonpartisans are all good people. Then when you get to the elected officials, what you find out is years, this has been years in the making through Nevada Progressive Alliance and everything. They've quietly put Democrats, changed them to Republicans, had them run as Republicans, they govern as Democrats. And this is a narrative that the far left is trying to sell, that democracy is being damaged. Now they've got some Republicans on it. But the fact of the matter is regular folks in the neighborhood, those are real Democrats. A lot of these Democrats that are in power just want to be in power. That's all. They don't care about anything.
All right, but isn't that true on the Republican side as well?
It's true on both sides. Look, these guys get into office and they become a privileged group of people, and they forget who their constituents are, and they're only there for their own power. They don't care about anything else.
I was watching the current issue of Bill Maher's program, and Bill had on his guest Stephen A. Smith, who is just, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, is just fun to listen to, and Dr. Phil, who has become a character now, appearing on the Republican side, but he claims not to be. And, you know, they're talking about the Senate as merely being a placeholder for people who want to run for president.
Well, that's probably pretty accurate. And let me tell you something. Some of this nonsense that's going on, look, you know, you've got all these far left people just trying to plummet Joe Lombardo because he's allowed the National Guard to be used in these ICE movements to remove drug dealers, felons, murderers, rapists, and that's what they're doing. So Sam, here's the real thing. So now all the far left is saying, oh, the whole Hispanic community is they're not leaving their house. First of all, the Hispanic community, if you look at recent polling done here, they support Joe Lombardo because they don't want these people here. But the problem is that there is in excess of 1,400 plus felons, rapists, murderers, drug dealers that are living in the state of Nevada. And when they go to get them, Sam, their family members or their friends are helping to hide them. And they get swooped up in that pickup because they're not legal either. The ICE isn't going after they're not going into hotels. They're not. That's all nonsense. Okay, it's like the culinary trying to sell the narrative that tourism's down because of ICE. Wait a minute, tourism's down because of ICE. Tourism's down in Nevada because we're charging a ridiculous resort fee. We're charging for parking, and we're charging $35 for a martini. So folks, instead of coming up from California to come to Las Vegas, they're making a right-hand turn and they're going over to the walking stick in Scottsdale, Arizona, where there's no parking fees, there's no resort fee, and a martini is like $14.
Okay, we'll get back to that. I just want to say that it does bother me that ICE is showing up at Home Depot and picking up day laborers.
ICE is showing up at Home Depot and picking up felons. Whoever else is there is going to get caught up in the swoop. Okay. But ICE has picked up, I think, 38. I got to check that, but it's like 38 dangerous felons have been picked up at ICE. Look, Sam, criminals hide right in your face. Okay. It's just like the guy they picked up in Nebraska who ended up being a cartel boss. So I have no sympathy for this. I'm sorry. There's hundreds of Hispanics. My whole family's Hispanic. I go to Mexico, but nobody wants criminals running the streets and threatening people. And that's what's happening.
Let's go back to your other topic here. And I couldn't agree more with you. About the increasing costs of going to Las Vegas. But what's really fascinating is, first of all, corporations don't care.
They don't.
They are there to make money, and they will make money any way they can. And they have spent billions of dollars building these palaces, and they've got to get a return on their investment. The problem is that this has now become a public relations nightmare that I don't think that the gaming industry has dealt with ever, which is with social media portraying all these, somewhat outrages of cost that it has sparked people to think twice about going to Las Vegas. As usual, the gaming industry has responded by cutting everything to the bone and putting together all these great deals. But aren't you convinced that come third and fourth quarter, that all the prices will be right back up where they were before, because the conventions will be back, Formula One will be back, the NFR will be back, and on?
Well, Sam, the problem is that like Caesars right now, Caesars is in big trouble.
Why?
Because their debt is ridiculous. They're in humongous trouble. Okay. The only because the Fountain Blue, they float in red ink. Resorts World, they float in red ink. You got to figure out a way. The problem is it's a perceived value. When people, it doesn't matter what kind of deals they're giving on the internet. When people hear it's $50 to park, $145 for a resort fee, and let me tell you who else. Here's another group. It's hard on the worker, and here's another group that's going to be in trouble. There's a lot of apartments that are charging a quote unquote like a resort fee now, which is adding $105 to your monthly rent.
Really? I hadn't heard that one.
Oh no, Sam, Sam, let me tell you, there's got to be some adult supervision brought into this. You know, the Nevada legislature last session was such a circus. The far left had control of everything. Look, when you have assembly people and senators, state senators going on X and using the F word or the S word about a sitting governor, and I've contacted a few of those people. One of them, you know, had the guts to talk to me. I said, do you find it compelling to use that kind of visceral language that kids are looking at? Because that's what kids live on. Listen, the age of 10 to 20 live on social media. No one wants to believe that, but I know in the state of Nevada, there ain't a 10-year-old I don't know. And I know a lot of 10-year-olds because of the neighborhood and all the stuff. They all have phones, Sam. They all have telephones and they get all their information. That's why the news media is having such a hard time, because people don't get they don't get their news from traditional media. These people get a majority of their news from their phone.
Okay, so I would have to agree with you 100% that the nature of language has become much coarser over the last decade or more, and it saddens me because I remember my English teacher back in the late 1800s when I was in school said that you can use the English language to insult people in a much better way than using swear words, because you'll make them go to the dictionary to figure out what you just called them. And I've always tried to go along with that. But I think in general, the language has become coarser, and that saddens me, but it's a fact of life. But I want to go back to what...
Sam, we need some civility. We need some adult supervision.
Yeah, but I think
we need to elect more business people to the legislature.
Okay,
look,
but what I'm saying to you is,
Sam, besides lawyers and government workers, the majority of the Senate and the Assembly are set up of people that have like political science degrees. They're just not regular folks, and they're all elitist, and they're there for their own agenda, not the agenda of their constituents. But they live in this compressed time world where they run a campaign from June to November, and all you see is negative campaigning.
All right, we'll come back to this. I want to come back to the language thing. Now, you and I are old enough to remember when the Broadway show Hair came out back in the 60s. And there was a portion of that...
Yeah, I'm not that old, Sam. You must be really old.
I am really old. In that musical, there was a portion of it where they used the F word over and over and over and over and over again. And what it did was it made it just seem like saying hello. Because if you keep hearing it over and over, well, that's the way society is now. Nobody cares anymore. The language is bad. It's in everything. It's in everyday language, and we're not going to get past that. All right, I want to move on to another thing you talked about, Caesars. So Caesars has been carrying debt for years, and it's interesting to see the expansion of gaming into the internet gaming. And it's also interesting to see how Vici, which was spun off from Caesars, has bought up 600 acres on the Las Vegas Strip. And now these corporations are using that money for expansion and paying off debt and other things.
Listen, I've told everybody, when Greg Carano got Caesars, I said the only way Caesars is going to be saved is because of Greg Carano.
Well, you mean Gary?
And Sam, that's a fact. That's not speculation.
Well, no,
if Caesar survives, it's because of that guy.
Well, Anthony. Well, right now, Gary's son Anthony is the CEO of Caesars, and is
but
doing
I'm
a
saying
fabulous...
it's the Carano name, the Carano family.
Right.
If the Golden Goose survives, it's going to be because of the strategic and smart ability of that family. That family knows how to run a business, but I don't know, man. They're just plummeted in debt. And
well, yeah, but they have been forever. I want to move on to the next one.
Not like they are now.
Oh no, they were $19 billion at one point in debt. I don't believe that the debt is as high as that, but their cash flow is functioning very well. You talked about the Fontainebleau. I agree with you. I think the Fontainebleau, frankly, is boring, and it's a beautiful property, but it's boring. And
it's
if
not
you
boring,
watch...
Sam. it's behind schedule. None of the big look, Sam, none of the major stores have opened up inside. That, believe it or not, Sam, the Fountain Blue could be an equivalent to the Wynn or the Encore. That's how it's that well. And they finally got someone in there that knows gaming. They now have good entertainment. I think if they can last 24 months, but I think someone told me, a very reliable source told me, that they're burning like $1.9 million a month.
Well, here's the thing: the Koch Industries helped finance the finishing of the Fountain Blue, and there's enough money in Koch Industries that I don't think that property is going to go south because of that. But it's just, and Washing Potato, if you've never been to that Chinese dim sum restaurant, is one of the most fabulous restaurants I've ever eaten in. But watch my interviews with Paul Steelman, the architect, to see about what a hotel casino needs to do as far as a wow factor goes. And I think that a lot of that could be translated into the Fountain Blue. But the main thing they need is people walking through the property. The other one you brought up was Resorts World. Genting is the financial powerhouse behind that.
Yeah, they have unlimited money, Sam. They're
unlimited money. Unlimited money. All right, let's take another break and we'll come back. More with George Harris right after this timeout.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes hope means fearless trial attorneys will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with George Harris. He's the chairman of Nevadans for Sound Government and one of my closest friends. And actually, the only reason we have him on here is to boost ratings. And so we appreciate that, George. The race between Aaron Ford and the governor has been had an interesting development with the chair of the Washoe County Commission running against Aaron Ford. She's going to announce here in a couple of weeks, Alexis Hill. Your thoughts on that and why?
Well, why? Because Alexis is probably would be the better candidate. Because Aaron's first of all, he's not a truthful human being. He has put the people in the state of Nevada. This is a prime example of what I'm telling you, where these people get elected and they only use their own agenda. We didn't elect that guy to get us into every left-wing crazy lawsuit against the Trump administration or against this thing or against that thing. It's not what the people of Nevada want. And by the way, what a lot of people don't know is, that's the largest law firm in Nevada is AG's office. They got like 420 attorneys. And I guarantee you, if you put me there for 3 days, I could probably fish out 155 of them that are there because they're Democrats in waiting. They're given these jobs so they can put them someplace else.
Well, that's been historically true for all parties over time. Would you not say?
That's not true. The Republic when there was a Republican Attorney General, they didn't have 100+ lawyers just sitting around doing nothing.
Well, I don't think that they're okay.
Let me tell you some, Sam. Stop.
I'm going to defend AG Ford and say
because
he doesn't have 100. AG Ford does not have 100 attorneys sitting around doing nothing. That is a fine office, no matter who is in charge of that office. The Attorney General's office of the state of Nevada.
Oh yeah, Sam, it's a fine office. Whether you agree or disagree with the judge that's under discipline in one of the rural counties, I can't remember. The Nevada Attorney General's office is the ones required by law to represent her, and they refuse to represent her. Tell me that that's not political will of a far left guy. I can't remember her name. The judge that's from Lyon County, that's in all this. She said something, and they were supposed to represent her, and they're refusing to represent her.
Well, I would be more than happy to have Aaron Ford be on the program as he has been on before. We've invited him to be on, and we look forward to him coming on as part of this campaign. And if he chooses to, he can respond to your accusations.
Why don't you invite him to come on with me? Because he won't, because he doesn't have the guts.
Listen, I'm the only one that comes on with you because I'm the only one that has.
That's not true. Tick Seegerbloom came on with me.
Yes, he
and
did.
Tried to sell the Nevada people that Harry Reid's the most important Nevadan. And I had to look at him right in front of you, and I said, "Wait a minute. What about Mark Twain? Isn't Mark Twain the most important Nevadan?"
George Harris, I love you. I'm so glad you're healthy, and we'll see you soon. Okay?
Thanks for having me, Sam. I appreciate you. I love you. You guys have a great day.
We'll talk to you soon. Take care, and we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com. You can always watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at NevadaNewsmakers.com. Thanks for watching and listening.